When we were very small, I would say 5 or 6 or less, we liked to go down to where we got water from a spring. That's the only water we had at home at that time. And we would play in the stream of water by damming it up and trying to catch the crawfish and little fish out of the stream of water. But we would run away, take our little buckets and go pick blackberries. And one day we were over there on this hill not far from the spring, and we were picking away at the blackberries, and we heard something sound like a snake coiling up, and that's just what it was. The briars was over, the snake was under where the briars were that we were picking the berries. So we just got back real slowly and started picking up all the rocks around and clobbered that snake. We completely covered him up with rocks. And we went home and told Papa about it. And he went over there to see what we had done. And he said that snake couldn't be deader. I think he was either in the 3rd or the 5th grade. He had to stay out of school a whole year because he wasn't really strong enough to get up and walk. And Papa was so concerned, he started going around to the people that killed cows and calves to sell it at the stores and asked them to save the livers for him to bring home so Ezra would get plenty of liver to eat to help build his blood. Turnip salad, turnip greens off of the turnip, and that kind of thing was a mighty good thing to help build blood too. Mama was telling me later on when Ezra was in the Army and he was out town with his uniform on, the doctor that had doctored him told Mom that he never expected to see that he had been so low he didn't expect him to live. Well, some of the things that I guess made him so strong. And then after he finished high school, he went to the CCs. I guess it had to be somewhere between a year and 2 years, or maybe a little longer. A little later, when he came home from the CCCs, I don't know just how long it was, but I don't think it was very long, that he was drafted into the Army and was sent to North Africa. And that's where the World War II started with him. I always think that we never really gave him enough recognition and told him how much we really appreciated all that he was doing during World War II. Our food was grown right there around the home, in the garden and in the orchard. And if we didn't grow that food, we didn't have it. So we tried to keep chickens and eggs and milk cows to get what we needed. We always tried to have a very good garden, and we grew corn and made meal to make cornbread and to feed the chickens. He was always, when he got big enough, he helped plow and gather the corn. And I just remember the pumpkins being so big, and I was probably 3 foot tall, and I couldn't climb up on them. Ezra and Rufus was always the ones that was doing the plowing, and as long as they were at home. As younger children, we always looked to Dorme to help us do things that had to be done. And she would milk the cow, but I never could milk that cow. And then if we wanted to make a pie or a cake, we certainly had to keep up with eggs and have eggs. And when we milked the cows, that was all done by hand, of course, because there was no electricity around. We never had electricity at my house at home until after I was married. And I was 21 when I was married. We had to go to the spring to get it. I would say it was maybe a couple of block distance, or maybe a quarter of a mile, in my little bucket, because I wasn't very big. Everybody brought water, and especially Mom tried to keep things, if it rained, we would catch water, so we would have it to do washing and laundry. Well, Papa usually would plant an acre or so of cane, and cane is much like corn, but when you grind it up, it makes syrup, molasses, and you had to cook the syrup down till it was molasses, and that would keep forever if you kept a top on it and kept it clean. I still think sweet potatoes is one of the best things I can eat, just simply baked. But you know, after you grow them, they have to be cured before you put them away for the winter. Papa had a cellar, but he found out that if you put the potatoes down there, they wouldn't keep. So what he did was to dig a place in the earth and put them in there, and then cover them up and pile straw, pine straw or something of that nature over top of them until it was deep enough and wouldn't freeze. Somehow Ezra grew up healthy and strong, and I was always so thankful for my daddy, because he understood what food was doing for you after he found out what he could do to build his strong blood. He did it, and from then on, Ezra was as good as any of us. Ezra was the closest to me, and I always thought he was the only brother I had. I still have just one. John Kinchin is the youngest one in the family, except in Jean. They're the two youngest. I haven't mentioned Dora Mae, which was our oldest sister. I'm sorry we couldn't do this when Ezra was here and could enjoy it with all of us, but we wanted to cook a meal in honor of him and have some of that good turnip salad and sweet potato pies and chicken dumplings and corn on the cob or cornbread. Corn on the cob was one of Papa's favorite things. He just loved, as long as he lived, which was almost 100.